Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. Tokyo, come sit down here. Sit down. Sit down. Come on, sit. So, one of the biggest driving factors for people, from humanity, 99% of people, is they're basing everything in fear, doubt, uncertainty. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? They're pausing this, they're second guessing. And you don't want to be part of the 99% of people, you want to be part of the 1% of people. So, there is a process that we're going to go through now to discuss fear and doubt, to be able to highlight when it comes up in your life, how to recognize it, how to identify it, how to remove it consciously at first, consciously recognizing, am I uncertain? Am I being fearful? Am I doubting? Am I second guessing? How to recognize it. We're going to discuss what it is, how to recognize it, how to remove it consciously, and then how to double down and focus on excitement and making decisions with clarity, with excitement, and even in the unknown, still having excitement. Yay, I don't know what's going to happen, but I've made the decision. I'm excited. Okay, so let's start off with fear and doubt. I'm in Los Angeles. I deal with a lot of people in entertainment and a lot of people in business. And when it comes to decision making, there's a lot of uncertainty. There is a lot in the unknown, no matter how many projections and how much research and how much time spent. But sometimes you just don't know. In fact, at the highest level, if you're Amazon, if you're Jeff Bezos, you really didn't know. You could look at the numbers and say, actually, the internet's blowing up. What should we do? We should do something with the internet? Sure. I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know what it is, but we definitely should do it. Let's make the decision. Cool. Boom. Decision made. So, once you start mastering your gut instinct, I talked about this before in another video, mastering your gut instinct is how all bosses work. They have an instinct, a little thought in their head, little voice in their head, and they just call it gut instinct, God instinct. I like to call it fun instinct, right? The gut instinct is one way of calling it, but if you call it a fun instinct, think about it like this. We don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I know what my plan might be. I'm planning to be in LA. I'm planning to be in, Vegas at the end of the month. I can try and plan out as best as I can. But once I start going into situations with excitement, even in uncertain times, I'm going to have everything I've ever wanted in my life. Everything. I'll give you an example. There could be a cute girl over there, and I think, I don't know, she might have a boyfriend. Oh, she might say no. I might get embarrassed. She might tell me to piss off. So, already, I'm thinking about the wrong things. Now, let me explain very clearly to you what happens when you lead with fear and doubt. And by the way, let me explain what fear is. Fear is just simply thinking about something in the future and thinking about pain. Thinking about something bad happen. Why would I just imagine something bad happening? And again, this is how everyone operates, and this is how I used to operate as well. I know I always used to say that I'm super imaginative. So I would think about something in the future. Man, it could go bad. This could happen. That could happen. And there's two things that happen when you do that. A, is it fucking attracts it to you. So what happens is the other person, let's say there's someone I'm going over to talk to. Say there is a cute girl for me to go and talk to, or if I'm a girl, there's a cute guy that I want to go talk to. And now I start thinking, maybe she's not interested. Well, that does two things. That affects how I interact with her, and B, it also affects how she interacts with me. Because people are all energy. So if I'm going over with the energy of fear that she might just be rejecting me, she might not be interested, she might have a boyfriend, I don't think she's gonna like me. Now, just by pure frequency and energetic connection, she is now thinking, maybe I don't like this guy. I don't know why. Because I put that into her mind. So you have to eradicate that. Now, I want you to start recognizing what it is. And I want you, when you recognize, is this something based on fear? Do I know? Do I have certainty that she has a boyfriend or not? Is she interested? No. Am I going to go over there and talk to her? Yes. I've made the decision. Here I go. So, if I recognize that I'm being fearful based on an unknown, which a lot of life is unknown. In fact, you might even say almost all of life is unknown. I might have an appointment today at midday at a cafe with somebody. How's it going to go? It's a really important business meeting. Really important. Super important. The most important thing ever. Oh, what if they say no? What if they don't want to do it? What if the deal goes wrong? Well, now again, I'm putting that thought into their mind. I'm also putting it into my mind. So I'm acting differently. And they, just by frequency going into them, they are unknowingly, I don't know, there's something, my gut feeling just doesn't tell me there's something wrong. I actually used to be in sales, and I would literally, I had one time, specifically I remember very vividly, I'm literally going for the close for this deal, and I was feeling in myself, I was so nervous. What are nerves? Coming from fear and doubt. I'm imagining them not doing it, right? If I made the decision, I went for the close, I'm excited. The unknown, sure, they say yes or no, I don't care. But I wasn't. I was uncertain. I was being fearful. I was imagining them saying no. And I remembered vividly, the customer literally told me, I'm going to say no. I don't know. It's just something doesn't feel right. They literally told me their gut instinct just said no. Because I was imagining, based on fear, and imagining something in the future that I didn't know the outcome, but I was just assuming maybe they say no. I don't know, they're going to say no. And then they literally told me, I don't know. My gut feeling says no. I'm going to say no. So I put that into them. So, also I want to talk about this. A little bit about masculine and feminine. Now remember, women and men both have masculine and feminine. So, even if I'm a man or a woman, I can still have logic, which would be more of a masculine trait, let's just say, for this, for the sake of this, right? So if I'm a man, I've got two options. I can either tap into the feminine side. Instead of being logical, I'm more like electric, let's get it going. The excitement, right? The unknown. I don't know. I can either tap into that myself, which means sometimes having to shut down my logical side, because there sometimes is no logic to certain things. I have to shut that down and not have to have that logic, scientific, formulated, plan, precision. I either have to shut that down, or I would recommend getting a partner, a female partner, who can just balance you out. Just by them putting their hand on your shoulder and going, it'll be all right. Just purely by that. By them balancing you out, which calms you down, and also by them being around, you're going to be more excited just to do it, just to be excited, just like fucking YOLO it, whatever. So, also as well, let me explain how the battery, the frequency inside us works. So think about how I'm standing up now. When you're younger, you're off balance. You're literally walking, your parents, hopefully if you have two parents, your parents are holding your hands. And you're walking with them balancing you. Now when you get older, you gain consciousness. what happens is humans, we're still imbalanced. And fear and doubt, right? Pausing, right? Indecisive, I don't know. This doubt and fear creeps in. And what happens is it sets off our frequency, our power, our alignment, our energy is off. It's not upright. It's not aligned. And when it's not aligned, everything is more difficult. There's friction at every decision, every move, every encounter, every interaction. Whereas when there's decisiveness and excitement in the unknown, everything just magically falls into place. People love you. The right people come. If something doesn't happen the way you were thinking or hoping, it's all good. And you know what you do? You take yourself away from the outcome, and you're present in the moment. And I know it sounds hard to say that, but you have to take yourself away from the outcome. Prepare with excitement in the unknown, whatever the fuck happens. Like, that's how I have to live my life. And that's how I would recommend that anybody live their life like that. Now, there's a couple of sayings that you can do to consciously reprogram yourself. So I've identified the issue with fear and doubt, trying to have a fun instinct, trying to be slightly feminine, just be electric, be excited, removing the doubt, the pause, the fear. We've identified what fear is. We've identified that making a decision with excitement in the unknown is where you want to live all the time. All the time. Now, I want to talk a little bit about consciously reprogramming yourself, recognizing when fear comes into your life, into your decision making, and recognizing that and say, oh, hang on a sec. Is this my old programming? Is this old fear patterns based on what? Something that happened to you when you were a child, with your family, with your community, with your whatever, right? So let me recognize that now and put a stop to it. So let me give you an example. Let's say there's some kind of meeting with somebody, and I don't know how the meeting's going to go. We don't know what they're going to say. So I might be a little bit nervous. And again, this is your nervous system. You want to remove all the uncertainty and doubt and fear and pausing. So I feel like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm feeling a little bit hot, tensing up a little bit. Sometimes your actual jaw will get a little bit, you're like tense. Sometimes you really just need to loosen up. But what you do need to do is you need to recognize, I'm going to this meeting and I'm nervous. Okay, why is that? Because I don't know, it's unknown, what's going to happen? It's just very important to me. Well, at that point, you need to recognize that is fear and doubt, and that's fucking up your nervous system, and that's going to ruin the deal, ruin your day, it's ruining everything. So recognize it. And let's say this instead. What gets me excited isn't certainty, it's the possibility. This deal, I don't know what's going to happen. It could go this way. I don't know, this possibility. Am I certain of what the outcome is? No. What gets me excited isn't certainty, but it's possibility. There's another saying you can do to reprogram yourself as well. If I'm not feeling the thrill, then I'm not going towards freedom. It's thrilling. Fuck, this is thrilling. This is $100 million deal. This could literally change our whole lives. This is the thrill of life. So you would say, if I'm not feeling thrill, I'm not moving towards freedom. I'm not going towards freedom if I'm not feeling thrill. And that's the truth. Because the unknown is thrilling. It's exciting. And that's what freedom is. So freeing. not giving a fuck, in the unknown, with excitement. So, we've recognized what it is. We've imagined making decisions with excitement. We've recognized that sometimes all this fear and doubt, and in fact all of the times, come from our family, our past, our trauma, our upbringing, our school, our community. We're going to recognize and identify when we are in fear and doubt based on the unknown and go, hang on a sec, let's have excitement in the unknown. I have to remove this fear and doubt because it affects how I am, and it also affects how they are. And there's the last couple little things I want to add in. One of the most effective techniques that I use is breathing. And you can do this when you're working, when you're with people, when you're even in a crowd. You know? And again, you should not give a fuck what anyone thinks of you. So sometimes when I'm in a crowd, literally big crowd of people, and I'm feeling a bit of my nerves, I'm like a little bit, something's coming up. I'm like, tensing up a bit. I'm breathing in. Even just doing that now calm me down. So I'm going to breathe in for 4 seconds, 3 or 4. I don't know the exact, people say 4 seconds. People say 3 seconds. I'm breathing in for a few seconds. I'm going to hold that breath for a few seconds. And I'm releasing that breath for a few seconds. And I do it 3 times. And I, on top of that, want to show you one other technique, which is a conscious reprogramming, where your eye movements, and they do this with high-level business people, with athletes. It's the best way to fix your nervous system. And I'm going to continue to breathe calmly. If I want to do my long breath. But I'm going to breathe as I'm looking up to the top left-hand corner of my eyes, the top right-hand corner of my eyes, the middle, bringing it to the middle and right, down. And I'm actually going to strain my eyes and move my eyes around whilst breathing. And I'm going to hold that. And what that does, it almost like a reset for your internal energy, frequency, and it really works. So eye movements, breath work. That's it, guys. That's it. Consciously being aware of when you're in fear and doubt, saying no. Verbally programming yourself, breathing, eye movements, and everything else in life is going to be so excited. I hope this is an amazing video for you. So anything else that you guys want me to do, please just message me. Let me know specific videos. But yes, excitement, making decisions in the unknown, and life is